he still had the school open, and they're doing things like training for the death squads that would come to Latin America during the Reagan administration. That was still happening under Jimmy Carter. Then Reagan gets in there, and no holds bar. They bring the shitty stuff back into the lesson planning.
Yeah.
And that's when they get kicked out of Panama. But same thing. Yeah,
so the curriculum was like designed based on the Cuban Revolution, and just like, all right, well, if you're going to be fighting peasants and in guerrilla style in these hills, like how are you gonna fight them? Through forced disappearances, through torture, through indiscriminate killing. And that's what we basically see Latin American militaries do in Colombia, in Honduras, in Guatemala especially, where there's just mass killings of people.
Yeah.
Right, and the other thing they always say is we're anti-communist. We got to stop the spread of communism. Of course, this is during the Cold War, and it's all these uprisings seem to have in common that they are supported by the poor of these countries, and the oppositions that the U.S. backs are people who we trade with and who we want to trade with, and whose resources, these countries' resources, we want to have for ourselves. So this is just like a blatant arm of U.S. imperialism and capitalism. But in the documentary, though, they don't really say that. They're trying to say, like, you're focusing on the negative. What we don't talk about is all of the good people that come out of the School of Americas and go back to their countries and do amazing things. And one of the generals is even like, only 1% of our graduates are convicted of war crimes.
That's so what's happening?
It's 1 out of 100. What's happened to the other 99? Are they falling asleep in class?
Yeah. So they did add, after all of those protests, they did add human rights curriculum to the school. So in the morning they're like,
it's a class they all skip and shit.
Yeah, no, but it's true. So actually, people who've investigated the school notice that the human rights courses are not really attended very well. And so in the morning, they're just like doing widow making 101.
Right.
And then in the afternoon, it's like how to burn the evidence. And that's basically what the day is like there.
This is all, very horrible, but I would like to imagine the Animal House style, like, college movie, fun comedy that takes place at the School of the Americas. Mm-hmm. They get into a big fight with their dean and shit. And it takes place in the 80s, so it's problematic.